Hey, what's going on guys, WingsOfEnd here and welcome back to another video. And today guys, I'm gonna be showing you how to make instant explosions in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So if you guys are excited for that, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's get right into today's video. To make the instant explosion, we are either going to need an end crystal or we are going to need minecart with the TNT. Minecart with the TNT is really interesting because it has a couple different ways we can actually activate it instantly, with and without redstone. And no, the actual TNT block is not going to work for this because it needs a little bit of the time before the actual explosion. Since minecart with the TNT is really interesting and we can activate it with and without any redstone, we're gonna be taking a look at it first. Of course, the end crystal and the actual minecart with the TNT can both be activated with the dispensers. But for instance, to activate the minecart with the TNT, we can only use a fire charge, and to actually activate and blow up the end crystal, we can use stuff like arrows, maybe some snowballs and stuff like that, but there is a little exception that I'm gonna be showing you later on. Maybe you thought that you can actually activate the minecart with the TNT with a flint and steel, but that's not the case. If you have the dispensers with the minecart with TNT right there, if you actually put in the flint and steel and have a lever over here, you can see that we are actually going to get particles, but the actual TNT with minecart is not going to activate. Maybe this is case in Java, but it's not in Bedrock. Only way to actually activate this and have the instant explosion is to use the fire charge. If we actually use snowball, nothing is going to happen, and if you actually use an arrow, it's just going to try to break the actual minecart. You can see it right here. If we just go ahead and place some of the arrows, you can see that the actual minecart is going to start wobbling. That means that we are trying to break it with the arrow. So again, only way we can actually destroy this and have an instant explosion is using the actual fire charge. If you just go ahead and place it over here, you can see that we're going to have an instant explosion and you can set up a lot of cool traps. You may ask, why are you going to use the minecart with the TNT and the end crystal? What's the difference? Well, you can see this is the blast radius of the minecart with TNT. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but just one is not really going to do that much. On the other hand, the end crystal is going to have like twice the size of the actual hole over here and the actual blast radius. So if you want to make it really deadly, you can use the end crystal. Previously I said that we can actually activate minecart with the TNT instant explosion with and without redstone. Obviously this hole was made by the minecart with the TNT with a tiny bit of help with the redstone, and this time I'm going to show you how you can have this instant explosion without any redstone, and it's really interesting. What we're going to do is actually have some block for choice. Of course, if we maybe place a block over here with the minecart with TNT, we can of course push it because it looks like a normal minecart and it's going to fall down. You can see that was the little experiment with the minecart falling from one block. If we actually add two blocks over here, you can see that the exact same thing is going to happen and the TNT is not going to blow up. If you actually go ahead and place another one, you can see that again exact same thing is going to happen, and 3 blocks is actually the limit. If you actually just add one more block, which is 4 blocks of height, and we try it again, you can see that we are actually going to get an instant explosion, and I think this is really cool little addition, and you can definitely make nice traps with this as well. Maybe you want to do a bit of an experiment with your friend. You know that it's going to blow up if there is higher than 3 blocks of drop. Maybe you can have them just kind of thinking this stage is going to be fine. You can drop it from 1 block, then 2, 3, and you can maybe let them know that they need to stand like over here and just drop the minecart with the TNT on their head, and they're going to be really confused why it actually activated. Again, this is 4 blocks. If we go ahead and push it, it's going to blow up. This is also really useful for people that like to use minecart with the TNT, maybe to clear a chunk or just make a giant hole. Previously, when I was seeing people do this, they always had like an activator rail or something to actually activate the minecart with the TNT before the drop, because they thought they need a bit of the redstone and just activate the TNT before it actually reaches the hole. But you can see again, if you have a 4 block of the drop or higher, it's going to have an instant explosion. Now we're going to talk about the actual end crystals, and you can see over here that this was the basic hole of the minecart with the TNT. If we just go ahead and place this on the obsidian, yes, you need to use the obsidian. You can see if I try to place it on grass, nothing is going to happen. But if we place it over here, you can see that the explosion is going to be a lot bigger. Let's just go ahead and do it in a clear area. Yes, you can technically activate this without any redstone if you actually make someone punch it or use an arrow or snowball and just drop set it. You can see the actual explosion is a lot bigger and the blast radius reaches all the way over here, making a couple of the blocks disappear over here even from the actual hole. You can see the blast radius is a lot bigger and just one can maybe fit like 3 of these explosions over here that we have, so it's really powerful. So again, yes, you can activate the end crystal explosion without any redstone, but you're gonna have really hard time trolling your friends with this if they have any idea about what end crystal is. Everyone should know that you don't mess with the end crystals, but if you have a friend that just started out playing Minecraft, you can actually troll them with these. Maybe you can secretly be creative and just act like you're in survival. Maybe place this with your friend being in survival and just kinda showing it to him and tell him maybe like just go ahead and punch it and they're going to die 100% of the time. Unless of course you give them some sort of the god armor, they are definitely going to die. And of course setting a trap with the redstone for this is really simple because we basically need to have a little projectile going into the end crystal because we're not going to have anyone there to punch it. You can see you can set it up over here having the end crystal and the dispenser right next to it, or maybe you can have it a bit further away. You just need to make sure that the actual projectile is going to hit it, and that shouldn't be really hard because the end crystal has a really big hitbox. But over here you can see that we have a couple of the interesting things. We are basically gonna be testing 3 projectiles and one of them has a really interesting feature. You can see if I put in the arrow over here and of course we can activate this with the lever. You can see that it's going to activate the explosion and it's going to do a lot of damage. But if we just go ahead and set it up again, we're going to have an end crystal and we're going to have a little dispenser right there. We're going to try snowballs. Maybe if you don't have any of the arrows and you don't want to kill the strays, if you're in the actual snow biome, you can just collect a tiny bit of the actual snowballs. And over here, if we grab or save the lever, we can test it out again. And we're gonna be able to see that the exact same thing is going to happen. Even the snowball is actually going to activate the end crystal and it's going to explode. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. Of course, another projectile that we can shoot from here is the actual fire charge, and you're going to be able to see that it's going to fire it over here. But if you actually go ahead and add the end crystal, you can see that it's just going to disappear as soon as it gets in contact with the actual end crystal. And I have no idea why it did stop, why didn't it actually make it explode, and why did it just disappear and not go forward when it can't actually destroy it. You can see it over here that we do have the actual fire charge coming out of the dispenser, but it just disappears right here. You guys know I'm an eagle, so I'm technically a bird I guess, and you're going to try to use that against me. You're going to see if this works with eggs, so I got myself over here a fake egg and we're going to test it out. This is just so you guys know that you don't have to use eggs, you monsters, don't kill any chickens. If you just go ahead, flick the lever, you can see that it's actually going to explode. So please, you know what is going to happen, don't use it, use a snowball or an arrow. So yeah guys, that's basically how you make instant explosions in Minecraft Bedrock Edition with and without redstone. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. If you think any of your friends would enjoy this type of content, make sure to share with them. But as always, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Yes, of course we're going to see what happens.